Welcome everybody. Welcome to the next in our iteration of collaborative webinars between the Geological Survey of Queensland and the Sustainable Minerals Institute at the University of Queensland. We have quite a lineup today and focusing on critical minerals. So you should hear from some exciting speakers about some exciting projects. First of all, I'll just remind you that we're going to have a virtual drink session after the webinar. So from 4:30 to 5, we'll just stick around and we'll promote everybody to panelists so we can all see you and everyone can interact and we'll have a drink together if you're able to stick around for that. And next week's webinar, next Thursday, will be on magnetotellurics in exploration. So we'll have an industry representative, an international consultant and a government geologist all contributing to that, so it should be exciting. But in the meantime, I'm going to give a very quick introduction and then I'll hand over. All right, so critical minerals are the topic of today. I'll skip through. Next slide. Critical minerals have received a lot of attention in the last few years with the dizzying highs and plummeting lows of battery metal prices such as lithium and cobalt, followed more recently by politically driven interest in rare earths, such as the high-level agreements between the US and Australian governments. But ultimately, it is the global drive to renewable energy and advanced technologies that is changing our world and the way we live, and consequently changing the commodities that we explore for. Within the Queensland government, we've coined the term new economy to describe this situation, and critical minerals, we also use the term new economy minerals, just to add another label to the long list of labels. However, the supply of these critical or new economy minerals is where the politics comes in, unfortunately. These are a number of headlines from late last year questioning the ethics, for example, of cobalt supply for lithium-ion batteries, and then, as I mentioned before, the new US-Australia partnership on critical minerals. Rare earths have seen much of the focus of discussions on supply chains and the issues around single source commodities. This graph shows the dominance of China in the global production of rare earths. However, as you can see on the right-hand side of the graph, and as many of you know in the audience today, with the commencement of rare earth production from a number of sites in Western Australia, Australia is becoming an important player in the critical minerals scene. And further changes, this is a headline from Mining News today, which I grabbed just to illustrate that point. Not only politics, not only advances in technology and renewable energy sources, but the COVID-19 pandemic is affecting the global supply chains for a lot of things, and in this case, battery minerals. This is a list from Australia's Critical Minerals Prospectus, which was produced by Austrade, showing Australia's critical mineral endowment. As a nation, we are well situated to develop a strong industry to service the new green and high-tech technologies and economies. This map shows the distribution of known resources of critical minerals in Queensland. Note that these are for formally recognised resources, and some of the work that you'll see today will reveal that this is the tip of the iceberg, and that in fact there are a lot more easily accessible and significant accumulations of critical minerals in Queensland waiting to be formally developed. Of course, the Northwest Minerals Province is an important region for copper, and as well as cobalt and zinc. Eastern Queensland is a mixed bag, but the Northeast is an important region for tin, tungsten and indium. We also have a world-class vanadium field near Julia Creek, east of Mount Isa. And one thing that isn't apparent on this map is our strength in rare earths. This is a story that is evolving and becoming more apparent by the month, as you'll hear today, particularly with respect to rare earths in the Georgina Basin, which unconformably overlies the Mount Isa inlier, as well as associated with peralkaline volcanics in eastern Queensland. I'm not going to give you an in-depth and boring rundown of our funding for critical minerals. I'm sure you'd all much rather hear about the projects themselves. So I'll finish here with a quick snapshot of just some of our collaborators under the New Economy Minerals Initiative. Importantly, this is a strong collaboration between industry and the Geological Survey of Queensland, as well as academia. So we're bringing together those three very different groups to address this emerging part of the industry.